Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving into some Pirate Rumble, utilizing the new 6 plus UTA or TOT Musica. Now, obviously, as you guys see here, I've already recorded these runs, and then I've obviously de-evolved my UTA once again. But once you actually evolve this particular UTA, she becomes very, very powerful in Pirate Rumble. Now, we'll talk about what she does in a second, but I did just want to quickly showcase the team before we dive into what the actual fights look like. Now, the team I put together is a bit of a powerhouse-driven centric team. It's very similar to like my original powerhouse-driven INT team. I just sort of took off your rogue and just put on UTA, and it all works out pretty hunky-dory there. I always like to run like a maximum bench if I possibly can, and taking off one of the Pirate Rumble rare recruits means you have to take off another Pirate Rumble rare recruit, which means you have to take off another Pirate Rumble rare recruit. And then you're sort of stuck with like your 5-man legend team, and then you have like your 1-man bench. But you could easily run something like Yamato, you could easily run something like Kid, you could easily use something like your Rogue on this particular team too. But with Top Musica, she actually boosts driven characters, that's her big gimmick. However, she does have the support of Blackbeard, who is an INT powerhouse booster, so you do want to try and build powerhouse units on the team. Then you have Big Mom, who's also an INT powerhouse booster as well. She's also great at nerfing Psy units. And then we've got Moria, and then we've got the Giants, and then Smoker, who are all powerhouse and driven as well. But let's take a quick look at Top Musica, and let's see what she does. Alright, here she is, Top Musica, otherwise known as Uta, Demon King of the Uta world. At level 10, her Rumble special is incredibly good. This unit, by the way, is up there as contention as one of the best, or if not the best, Rumble character in the entire game. This unit is so phenomenal in Rumble, and you guys are about to see how powerful she can actually be. Her special at level 10 is on a 34-second cooldown. She targets enemy within a large range for a 100% chance to halve attack and speed for 20 seconds. Special cooldown speed level 2, and then does 4 times her attack int damage to those enemies. So halving attack and speed is awesome because it just like allows you to tank so much more damage. And with the int based team, you already have so many characters that can halve stats. Big Mom can halve stats, Yamato can halve stats, Moria can halve stats. So this like targeting like attack and speed is so damn powerful because it just allows you to stay alive a lot easier. Her special is no, that we already did that. Her ability buffs driven teammates HP up level 6, attack up level 6, and when dealing damage up to 4 times, she gives level 2 attack up to driven characters as well. She also gives special cooldown speed up level 2 as well. So very, very powerful unit, very, very strong. And once you put it together with some powerhouse driven and INT characters, she can do some pretty gnarly things. So let's check out the fights. Alrighty, here we go with some Pirate Rumble. So as you guys saw, this is the team. It's very INT powerhouse or INT driven centric. More INT powerhouse than INT driven, but there's a lot of overlaps there, obviously, with Big Mom, Blackbeard, Top Musica, and Moria all being of both powerhouse and driven, so it works out very nicely sliding her onto this particular team. Now, we are coming up against what slashes tend to look like nowadays. There's some other variations, like you can use Carrot Wanda as my personal pick for the slash team over Cracker, but this particular team is still pretty nice when it comes to the slash build. Dofi with these level limit break plus is actually pretty formidable. Like, he gets a little bit of a buff there. And then obviously with Roger Newgate and Odin being able to do so much damage, you have to be very, very careful. However, slashes, free spirits, driven, cerebral, powerhouse, shooters, all of them are still so far behind the color teams. And whilst they are getting nice buffs, and it's nice to do like centric around like INT powerhouse or INT driven, whilst I do really enjoy building those types of teams, the class teams sort of just aren't exactly there yet. But hopefully that with more buffs we actually get that. Now, as you guys saw there, we did lose Blackbeard and we did lose Big Mom very early. And look, that's the power of Whitebeard and Roger. When Whitebeard and Roger go off, they can just absolutely go off. But once they've kind of done that, like they really need to like take out some really big hitters or some formidable opponents if you are using slashes, or you need to be coming up against enemies that don't have like a very strong bench. Now, obviously, our bench with Smoker and Brogy is just very, very strong, and getting those two to come in is no hindrance to our team. So that was slashes. Pretty nice start. Let's move on to the next fight. Alright, so the next fight is a little bit more scary, and when I say it's a little bit more scary, it's got Kuzan, and it's also got Enel. Now, Enel can nerf slashes, which obviously our giants are. However, the rest of the team, we don't have to worry about it too much because they're not actually slashes. But this particular enemy team has Kuzan. Now, Kuzan can nerf int characters pretty drastically. However, we still have Big Mom on this particular team, and Big Mom can actually nerf Psy characters, so they kind of cancel each other out. Ideally, though, if you were utilizing a team against Psy, and you're running an int-based team, because they are sort of like counter-opposites, you really want to make sure that you are using your Rogue on the team somewhere, because your Rogue can just nerf Psy incredibly well. He does a lot of damage to them as well, but utilizing the combination of your Rogue, Big Mom's great. But again, Top Music is the sort of focal point here, and she actually buffs Big Mom quite nicely, because Big Mom's a driven unit. So, versing Psy works out pretty well. Now, we do take a lot of specials here. Odin hits us very, very hard. Obviously, they have Yamato to halve stats, so that can be pretty RNG reliant, and it can be pretty scary. And they have the big one, which is Wano Law. Now, Wano Law is a driven powerhouse killer. However, for this particular fight, it didn't really matter too much. We lost, what's his name? Is it Brogy? We lost Brogy. Okay, sorry, I always get them confused. That's Dory that just came in. We lost Brogy pretty early, and Brogy's a pretty good damage dealer. But this is the upside to having such a strong bench that, like, when you get Dory coming in, and once you have Smoker coming in, they're already applying some int-based buffs, and it just helps keep your stats at a nice chunky level to sort of help pick off the enemy team. So it works out pretty nicely. Now, this particular fight didn't really showcase Top Music too great, or didn't showcase the team too well, but the fight went down to the wire. Obviously, with Yamato just like halving stats and then doing a whole bunch of damage, like she can actually just pop off, absolutely tear through like what she just did to Blackbeard there, and absolutely tear through your front line and even your bench as well. But nevertheless, we managed to fight pretty well, and we actually managed to clutch the win here. Halving stats from Moria, halving stats from Big Mom, halving stats from Top Musica. Just it's so freaking powerful. It's actually so powerful, and not only nerfs your enemy's damage like drastically, but also increases your damage output so significantly. Now, we did get actually fairly lucky here with what's his name? Dalton came in, and Dalton actually had his special ready to go. I love having Dalton on the bench as the backline bench, because once you get to these late game fights and he does stuff like this, he basically just kills the opposition for us. And I think Top Music is the one that actually wins it for this fight, because I remember getting so angry that what's his name? Smoker literally missed everyone. And then Top Music is just like, hey, see you later. So that was against a side team, which could have gone either way if I'm completely honest with you, but managed to take the dub there. On to the next fight. Alright, so on to Free Spirits now. Free Spirits are a great defensive team, and obviously with Yamato, Odin, all those usual culprits, and the Straw Hat Crew V2, you have to be very, very careful if you are taking on the Free Spirit team, as they can put up a very, very good fight with their defensive capabilities. So be very careful if you are trying to take it down, because it can surprise you. It can do bits, so just be very, very careful. Nevertheless, this particular team actually managed to do it fairly nicely. Like, there was really no issues taking down the Free Spirit team, because most of the units are sort of side, right? You got Yamato, you got Odin, you got Rogers, and with Big Mom, it just helps out so much that you don't have to really worry about all of those crazy specials. And when you start halving attack and stuff like that, especially if you halve Odin's attack with Uta or Top Musica, you are just going to be in such good stead. All of these units as well on this driven powerhouse team can do a lot of damage. Big Mom, like you saw their half stats, and if you're below 50%, Big Mom just does so much damage that it's not even funny. So once like, look at that, look how much damage she does, man. If they're all stacked together and she pops off after like a Moria special and a Big Mom special that halves all the enemy stats, because she gives cooldowns as well, it just works so damn nicely. Like, it's so freaking powerful how much damage output that this unit actually has. So very, very nice showing against the Straw Hats and the Free Spirit team. The reason this fight's going so long is literally just because the Straw Hat Crew can revive, and then you sort of have to just like wait out your specials again and do all those like annoying shenanigans. But nevertheless, we get the dub and we can move on to the next fight. Alright, so I thought we'd go up against another Psy team, because Psy is probably going to be our biggest combatant. However, this particular team has the new Luffy, doesn't have Law, but still has Kuzan. Now, Law is just such a killer for this particular team, and if you are coming up against like an opposition and using stuff like driven powerhouses, probably try and avoid taking on Psy Law, because he's just so good at nerfing your cooldowns, and he just provides such a huge gap between their cooldowns and yours. However, I did want to try this team against the new Luffy and see how it went. remember, every time you hit with Top Musica or Uta of the Demon World, you are gaining attack. You have so much HP with this team. 27 HP is absolutely wild. A bunch of halving stats, like you just saw there from Moria. I think Moria pretty much halved everyone's stats, which is actually wild. So now that when you have your big hitters coming in, like Brogy, like Blackbeard, like Uta as well, you're doing so much damage. And every time you hit with these particular units, like look how much damage this is. Oh, 10, like see you later. Like just goodbye. Like goodbye. Luffy's meant to like be in the front and sort of tank all this stuff, but now you've just like got special sealed, you've got half stats, you've just taken so much damage that like it honestly doesn't even really matter from here on in, because you have 2 enemies, I have a full squad, and we have 50 seconds left on the clock, and you've got no chance. I'm sorry. Like Luffy can tank and he can stay in the fight for a day, but every time Top Musica hits, she's giving herself minus like level 2 cooldown, and it's just so ridiculous how fast you can keep popping off those specials and getting so much damage as well as nerfing capabilities. On to the next fight. Alright, so this one was interesting because I was like, hey, let's go up against, like, let's really test this team. Now, this is not the best Dex team going around, nor do I think this team can beat the best Dex team going around. That's why I haven't versed a crazy Dex team. However, I did want to sort of see how it would go against something like a 6-man Dex team, because Dex is just so, like, it's so far ahead of every other team in the game, in my opinion anyway, that, like, even when you're using strength, you honestly you just don't even stand a chance. Nevertheless, this team actually worked really, really well. Top Musica just giving herself attack, giving herself cooldowns every single time she attacks is actually ridiculously powerful. The level 2 cooldown for her CT just means that she's getting her special much quicker, and means that you can bring it up a lot closer to stuff like Moria, who's now literally going to have 3 enemy stats, Dogstorm, Luffy, and Kizaru, which is massive because now once Top Musica hits, she's going to hit so damn hard. Not only that, but Blackbeard hits ridiculously hard as well, and so does Brogy. So, like, once those units start popping off, and when you have half stats, like, having, like, 1,000,000 defense is great, but if I then halve it and you have 500,000, it's such a big difference. And obviously Blackbeard does lower defense as well, which is great, but having the half stats is just, it's so much more powerful. Even tanking that Luffy special the way we tank it is actually incredibly impressive. So, Brogy comes in, he does a butt ton of damage there, like an absolute, like, powerhouse of damage. Dofi comes in before the 50-second mark, which is very good for us. We're then going to halve attack speed, lower all the cooldowns, do a whole bunch of damage, take out Kizaru. And then from here, like, now we've halved more stats with Big Mom. We've got Special Seal going against Dofi. So even if Dofi was in the final, like, we're in the final stage, like, and he had his special, Dofi wouldn't be able to pop it off if he wanted to. So that's actually pretty funny, because Dofi can clutch a fight, man. Dofi can come in that back end, and he can just be like, yeah, no bueno, and actually just destroy the rest of our team. But once you get to the point where you're in 30 seconds, like, even still, like, this not the best Dex team, and it got us to the final 30 seconds. Absolutely wild. We have one more fight. Big old quick team. I saw it. I thought it'd be fun. Let's take it on. Alright, big, juicy, quick team. Now, I don't think this is, again, the best quick team going around, but I saw the stats and I was like, damn, I have to try this. So, I thought, hey, let's take it on. Let's see how we go. And, if we win, we win. If we don't, we don't. Not a lot of synergy going on here, because, like, Law is, like, I think he's, like, a cerebral and a quick unit booster, where then the rest of the team is kind of janky. Obviously, a lot of these units are kind of outdated too, like Magellan. Like, even Kaido's dropped off quite a bit. Akai's still very good when you're investing strength, and Whitebeard's an amazing bench unit. But, like, Quick has some, like, better options nowadays. They have stuff like, Izokiku, who's just, like, a staple. You've got the Brogy monster. Oh, you actually got the Brogy monsters in the back there. And then you've got Shuri, who probably should be in the front lines, and Whitebeard be in the back. But, nevertheless, the amount of stats this team has, a lot of level 150s. So, like I said, I just had to fight it. Fighting big quick teams is a lot of fun, because they're nothing too crazy, even with their massive monstrous stats. But they just have a lot of defense down, and our team, we have a lot of defense up, so just watching sort of our defense dwindle down, and even once it dwindled, we sort of just tanked shots from stuff like Kaido, which was actually nuts, because we had negative 2 defense, and Uta actually tanked that shot fairly nicely. Now we can just come in, we can use our specials. We're doing that funny thing called halving stats once again. We're lowering defense. Now watch Top Musica or Uta. She's going to hit very, very hard here. Oh, see you later. That is so much damage, man. It is so much damage. But that's going to wrap up the video today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know your thoughts and opinions of Top Musica in the comment section below. Are you enjoying the new Driven INT makeup? Are you enjoying the INT Powerhouse makeup? Let me know if you are. If you're loving it, let me know if you're not loving it, because it's actually pretty interesting and pretty fun team to run. But most importantly, if you enjoyed the video, belt the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the big red subscribe button. Most importantly, enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are in this beautiful world. As always, I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Later!